Hello! So this month I am going to do the Peachtober 2025 art challenge. Peachtober is a month-long art challenge and I'm really excited to give it my best, but I'm going to let you into a little secret. As yet, I have tried art challenges multiple times and failed every single time. So I'm really hoping you guys can help me stay accountable. But I also feel this is really important for me. I am desperately needing a creative reset. I'm looking forward to building up a practice that has me sketching daily, experimenting and pushing those creative boundaries. The most exciting thing is hopefully the results of that is some brand new exciting ranges for JMC designs. So hopefully you will be seeing the birth of some new collections. With that, if you're seeing artworks that you absolutely love and think, I would love that as a stamp or a paper or a die or something, let me know in the comments below and let's create the future of JMC together. Until all of that happens, let's jump in and prepare tomorrow's artwork. Okay, so here is what I have prepared for Peachtober so far. This was the first day and the prompt was acorn. And then we had day 2, which was a kite. Not overly excited by this one, but I chose to work on pattern building. This one I think would be adorable as a stamp, and over on Facebook a lot of you really agree. But this one was slug, and I think she is a little cutie. And actually, when I started drawing these, I couldn't stop. So here were some original sketches that I had. Obviously I chose to do this one. I also have this one here, which I think I'm going to use for the critter option, but that was slug. But yes, I could definitely just keep drawing at these little guys, so I think they could be stamps if you like. This one was gingham. I was really stuck with this one because gingham was such an open prompt. I really didn't know what I wanted to do because you could just literally put gingham on everything. Eventually I opted for a pumpkin, mostly because all last year I decided I was going to do a huge pumpkin stamp so that I could paper piece it and never got round to it. So I drew one instead. And then today's prompt was poppy, and we have this little lady here. So I've been doing all of these on holiday because we've been away on holiday, and I've managed to keep a day or two ahead. Now I have nothing else prepped, but that is because tomorrow's prompt is ring. Now bear with. This, yeah, I wasn't sure what I wanted. I knew I didn't want a ring on the finger. I knew I didn't want a telephone. And then eventually I was like, oh, I love doing galaxy paintings. So I could do a galaxy with Saturn. And somehow that idea sort of turned into this. So we've got this girl, she's got her Saturn earrings with the ring, and then we've kind of got like the orbit cycles as a crown. Yeah, my head's a strange place, but I really wanted to do this mixed media. I want to go in with some alcohol inks on her face. I really want galaxy hair. Don't think we're going to finish this tonight. It's currently 7:35 and I would need to... Yeah, so we'll just see how we get on. Just need to check this is actually going to... I think I got it right, but I just want to check that it is going to actually fit. Yeah, I don't want to make sure. So we'll colour first and then we will chop down and add to the book later. So that is currently what I'm about to do. So fair warning, I'm trying out a different editing style. Instead of entirely voiceover, we're going to jump from voiceover to kind of like real-time vlog sort of style. So we will go from my thoughts and feelings of Peachtober to little bits and pieces of what I'm actually doing in the moment. Apart from just now where I'm going to tell you I'm watching Ashley Monet colour in. It just seemed quite serendipitous that I was watching colouring whilst colouring. Yes, so I'm hoping this is going to work. Let me know either way so I'll know whether to do this again. But I wanted to jump into why I wanted to do this challenge. I have drawn ever since I was a little girl. When I was a teenager I took art at school, but I was diagnosed with ME, chronic fatigue syndrome, when I was 13. As a result, I never did sit my art exams. Well, actually, when it came to my standard grades, I broke my arm just before, and I was able to take all my exams except art, because I could move my wrist but not my shoulder, so that made it impossible for art. And then by the time it came to sitting my hires, I had ME, and so I never finished school. So I never really got into a daily practice. I didn't even really think I could draw. Which is probably why I got into crafting, because I enjoyed colouring, I enjoyed being artistic, but I didn't feel I had the ability to draw. I don't know what changed. Somebody kind of said, could you draw this for me? And I did. And then I sort of started experimenting a little bit. Some of you may know that I went for therapy for extreme anxiety, and in that I did a few sketches and things for my therapy, and my therapist encouraged me to put them onto social media, and I did. And then I kind of ended up with a small Etsy shop selling downloads. Then I started making stamps and went on Hachanda. And what happened was I jumped straight from having no art practice at all. Like, it was a series of fortunate events. It was amazing that I went from doing a couple of sketches to having a craft brand, all without really trying, which is really, really fortunate. But I hadn't done the legwork or the basics of building up a creative practice. And it was so exciting. I went to Hachanda, I did my first show, it was amazing. I loved the artwork that I produced. It was all Alice in Wonderland theme. And then of course they booked me in for the following month. I had nothing drawn for that, so I quickly drew something for that month, and then for the next month, and then for the next month. And so I never really kind of got onto this thing of creative play. I almost straight away went into creating for the sake of a business, and it's not the same. And I was already sort of slowing down. I'd stopped doing as many launches on Create and Craft and things like that. But then, as we all know, Create and Craft went down last year, and it had such a knock-on effect. We were talking about this. I was talking about this with Louise and Janice when we did the workshop. And we all went through some sort of strange grieving process. And I just honestly didn't have it in me to think of ranges, to even think of doing anything. And so I just kind of stopped drawing. I stopped feeling it. I stopped doing anything. I think because drawing was never a practice for me just to enjoy for me. It was always, from the very beginning, I drew in order to create, to sell. And I don't think that's the best way for it to be. As I was in that space, I really did know within myself that something within my creative practice really had to change. So delighted. It's 10 o'clock, well, 10 to 10, which was the limit I set myself, and I finished 2 of them. Oh my goodness, I love how she turned out. Very different from my sort of style. Not me at all, but I love it. And this is what I'm loving about the challenge. I'm exploring different techniques, different art styles. That's the whole point of the challenge. She's gorgeous. So she's all ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning I will come down and I'll cut and put her into my sketch pad. I'm using a Pink Pig sketch pad. And this is the other little cutie. So that is for Tuesday. Again, love how she has turned out. Both of these ones we've printed separately and sort of made into digi images and then coloured. Tomorrow I may go back to how I was doing it on holiday with tracing, because I'm liking how that looks as well. But yeah, successful evening. I can't believe I've done that in 3 hours. That's not bad, because normally I'm very, very slow. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and we will see what we do. Make some more progress with this challenge anyway, so we're ready for the week ahead. Hello, it's tomorrow. It's about 12:15. Is it? Or just before 12? It's about 12ish. Been to the dentist with my daughter this morning, so just hitting the studio now. I need to cut down the images that we did last night, get them into my journal so that we can post them on Instagram. I'm going to do that first. Then I'm going to do a quick tidy because we have devastation. The room's a mess. I did a workshop, immediately went on holiday. I've come back, did the colouring last night so that we were on track for posting regularly for Peachtober, and the place looks like a devastation. So we're going to clear up a little bit and then crack on. I will take you along with me today as we continue to prep for Peachtober, and yeah, hope you enjoy coming along with me. So I have planned to do the Peachtober challenge in the past. The first year I'd kind of just heard about it as October 1st was looming. I had quite a lot on that month, so it never happened. I think I did one prompt and that was it. So last year I sort of cleared the decks, ready to do it, and then of course that is when the whole thing with Create and Craft happened, so I wasn't really feeling it. So this seemed to be the first year that I was able to knuckle down and really give it a proper try. Okay, so I am in love with her. Oh my goodness. So that's this one done, and we've got strawberry done. And then I was going to move on to leaf. So I had a few different ideas for leaf when I was playing with the ideas. I did sort of this one, sort of a funny little creature coming out from some leaves. I also have this one, which is the one I'm going to go for. She's got a little leaf outfit. I think she looks quite cool. And then I tried to go for a slightly more elaborate one, but I think she's my favourite. Now, I have been enjoying, I kind of thought this was sort of a temporary measure, but when I was on holiday and creating, I was doing things the old-fashioned way. So you can see all my tracings. That's this one here for the ones we have before, but I'm really loving the sort of no lines hand coloured look. So I think that's going to work really well for this image here. So I'm going to go ahead and use that technique of tracing. This is like, I'm not even proper tracing paper. These are sort of separating sheets that came in when I order my papers, and I've sort of saved them. So I'm going to use that and go through this process. I tend to start off with just a normal HB pencil, and then when I do the thing on the back, I use a 6B pencil because it's a lot heavier and the transfer will be easier when it comes to tracing back. So I'm just going to get on with that now. Okay, so this is how far we've got. Excuse all the horrific mess. We're partially tidying up. So she's still a little bit damp because we've used watercolours. I want to come in, I am obsessed with pastels right now, so I want to come in and add pastels to her face. I want to build up the rest of it using pencils and some acrylic markers. But in order to do that, I want that to be really, really dry. So in between time, sorry, pointing at you, that's shockingly rude, isn't it? In between time, I'm going to work on the prompt for the following day, and this one I want to digitize, pointing at you again. This is it here. So the prompt for this one is rope, and again, it was one I was really stuck on, like the ring one, but then I thought of a skipping rope. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am not very good at showing motion in artwork. They're very sort of still, so it's something I've got to work on. So this is not my best artwork. It is going to do for Peachtober. I have pushed myself. I've tried to create movement. We've kind of got the movement in our pigtails there and some of these motion lines, but it's not the best artwork. Also, I can sort of draw. I can draw, but I'm a messy drawer. I tend to sketch and erase. I don't know if I hold that close, if you can see just how much that has been drawn, rubbed out, and like it goes on and on. So because it's not an image, although I've drawn it, although it's not an image I'm overly confident about recreating, like this one, I'm absolutely fine. I feel really confident, and when it comes to it and I do the line work, I'll be all good. This one I'm a little bit nervous about for multiple reasons. So I'm going to digitize this one and treat it as a colouring page like we did with strawberry. So while this is drying, I'm going to digitize this one And also, so at the back of the book here, I've got all the prompts, and I'm sort of gradually sort of ticking them off as I have prepped them. So by the end of this week, we're at seagulls, so I kind of need to make sure that I've done all of those. I've got an old drawing somewhere that I think might work for brush. It's honestly one of my original drawings when I first started sketching again. So I might go and look for that, see if we can recreate it. And then the next one that I've got to work on is truck. I'm not impressed with that as a prompt at all. So we need to work on that maybe as well to start getting some ideas. Let's have a look, see if we can find that brush one, and then we will do some digital artwork. Found them. So I have these paintbrushes here. I think I'm going to try and play with these. They are so cute. I don't know whether to put both together or just one. I like her. She is fab. Yeah, so this is my first, when I started drawing again, this was the first sketch pad, as most of the stuff in here is pretty rough. Yes. It's not the best, but I still really like them, and I think they might be a bit different. So that's brush sorted, so that's good. For this year's Peachtober, my goal is just that I turn up every day and that I create every day and to build up a daily practice. I watch a lot of Chantel Arts, and she has the most amazing series called The Daily Doodle Diary, and I think what she does in that is changes or reframes your expectation. It's not about having to produce amazing art each day, which can maybe stop us from sketching daily, but rather it's about turning up each day, and even if it's a 2-minute doodle, that's fine, you've done something creative. And I have followed that practice for an entire month now, and I have done a month's worth of sketches. I know that doesn't sound a lot, but for someone who is 48 and has never yet had a regular creative practice, that is huge, and I'm really excited about where the journey will take me going forward. Knowing I wanted to do Peachtober, I was kind of half prepping Peachtober, so I'm trying to do it with as zero pressure as possible so that this can really kickstart my creative practice and help me just produce better artwork for you guys as well. Okay, so here's what we have prepped together in this video. We have done ring, strawberry, leaf, rope. I've done this in between editing this video. This one is for tomorrow. This is for critter. And I have a bit of a background with this image here. I'm going to put that on in a little bit, and that will be seagull. So that is the end of this week's prep for Peachtober. I'm really excited. I've already managed more than 1 week, which is more than I have ever done before. I'm feeling prepared, I'm feeling organised. More importantly, I am feeling inspired. I'm so enjoying creating every day, sketching every day, feeling really good. My head's full of ideas again, which is how I love my head to be, and hopefully that means more amazing products for you guys. Don't forget, if you are seeing any sketches you love, let me know and I'll do what I can to turn them into stamps, digis, dies, whatever it is that you think that image would work well as. Yeah, if you would like to see how this progresses, do pop over to Instagram. The link will be below, because I'm posting up there daily so that you can see, you know, what I am doing. I will be back in a few weeks' time to let you know what I've learned from doing this challenge, but more excitingly, and next week I am back with a brand new series that I would never have thought of had it not been for doing Peachtober. I'm so excited. Please do join me next Friday for the beginning of something really special.